Mr. Chapman here with CyberNow Labs. I'm going to spend some time with who I think may be the most energetic person I'm going to have on any of my shows, Esra Demir. Hi, Esra. How are you?
Hi, good. How about you guys?
Good. You can't let the people down now because I've said that you're probably going to be the most energetic and most fun.
Yeah, I know. I have to get my energy up.
You've been in a couple different security operations centers now. I know you haven't been at IBM very long, but I think you actually can bring some good insight as a very observant individual, but also a very diligent person who I think you have probably an ability to do some comparison. Now, the last thing I ever want to do is talk bad about anybody or any SOC. So let's just keep it like differences, right? Like how things are versus what expectations are. So let me ask you, what did you expect going into the SOC versus what you actually found when you got there, just out of curiosity?
So like when I went to the SOC, my expectation was like, it's going to be like this whole, building with tens and thousands of screens. And we're like, doing all these investigations and phones ringing and
like in the movies.
Yeah, exactly. But like when I went in there and they're just like, here's one screen computer for you. And, here's the tool, like best of luck, just learn it and do whatever you can. Like you mentioned, every company was different, but mostly you want to be like curious. You want to know, like, I was curious. I was like, hey, what is this tool? Like, I want to learn. Like, yes, we learned Splunk, CrowdStrike, but not every company has those tools. Yeah. So you have to be able to, if you know EDR, you're going to, doesn't matter what, well, like, kind of like, doesn't matter what the tool is, as long as it's EDR, you have an idea of it. Mm-hmm. So I think it's important to understand, like, you're not going to find the same exact tools that you used at CNL to be used at different companies. So I think that was one thing. The playbooks, not all companies has playbooks. That was another thing.
See, that's what I'm familiar with because we didn't really have a playbook per se. Yeah. We had SLAs for our clients, but we didn't have really a playbook. It was more fluid, I guess you could say. Mm-hmm. So,
yeah, definitely like nothing like as you see in the movies for sure. It's like a lot different. It's a lot like calm and you do your investigations and
You mean you're not running around going, we're being attacked?
I had that experience once and I did not freak out.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
I was very calm and like, let's get this problem resolved.
Right. Now, obviously with you being with IBM, you're working on all the IBM products now, right?
Yes. And then we do contract work for the government. So
okay, cool.
I have to get my clients and all that good stuff.
Very nice. We talked a little bit about the expectations. What's your favorite part about the SOC?
I would say definitely the investigation part. Like, I just like to know why a alert happened or incident happened, and then go deep dive and see like the cause of it, and then how do I prevent it from happening next time. Those things are like really important. You have to like get your hands dirty is what I like to say. Like you have to be curious. Like you want to learn these things. You want to know these things. If you don't have the curiosity or the passion for cybersecurity, you're just like, it's like, yeah.
It's a task.
Yes.
It's a task. It's not, yeah.
It's like a task that you don't want to do. And it just like,
yeah.
Wonder why am I even here kind of thing. So for those like going into cybersecurity, please, if you have passion, go for it. If you are curious about investigation, what alerts does, what incidents does, what these things does, like just go for it. But other than that, like if you're going for other reasons, please don't waste your time.
Well, what you were saying a minute ago to me is the essence of what a cybersecurity professional is, right? It's looking at the security events. It's, analyzing them to be able to understand what happened and how attackers are leveraging different things against your environment to gain access and so forth, right? That's a portion of it. How can you train your people to be better to not, do things that they shouldn't be doing? How can you implement rules? How can you, protect the environment better? How do we look for different vulnerabilities? Like there's so many different things you can do in cybersecurity. And, I love the idea that an individual kind of starts out and then they figure out where they want to be. And then they go, this is my niche. This is where I'm going to focus my time because I really enjoy this aspect. For me, it was the investigations as well, too. I love doing the investigations.
Yeah.
I love being able to paint the picture of who, what, when, where, why, right? And then if it's an issue, do something with it, right? Talk to somebody, implement a change, recommend, remediation steps, whatever needs to be done to help improve the security of the environment. Like that's the essence of what a cybersecurity professional is it not?
Absolutely. You know, you just, if you have a problem, you resolve it and then you don't think about it.
Yeah.
It's just like, if would you rather like have the same exact results and go through the same exact issues again? I don't, honestly. I just like to take care of it once there and then, and I'm done. Like, I don't want to think about it again. So I think that's what is very important as a SOC analyst.
Well, you definitely have always struck me as the work smarter, not harder kind of person. And I saw that even when you were, putting out applications to get your job initially when you first started looking. And, I love how your activity kind of became advice that you would give people, and then they wouldn't follow the advice there. And I'm like, why are you not following our advice? Are you seeing what she's doing? Like, seriously, you should listen, right? Was that challenging?
Absolutely. Like, people just come ask questions, and then you tell them your advice, and then they're just like, don't follow it. And I'm just like, okay, like, why did you ask in the first place? Like,
Yeah.
Please don't waste your time and my time. Like, my time is valuable. I have 2 kids to take care of and a job. I would say, like, don't believe everything everybody says. Like, I heard people saying that you cannot get a cybersecurity job because without a clearance. That's not true. Both of my PNC and Pittsburgh Penguins job was without a clearance. Another thing is referrals. I got a referral from, a coworker of mine, and I didn't get the job. People are saying that, oh, you can't, without a referral, you can't get a job. That's not true. None of my jobs that I got was like, I didn't get referred. It just was all my, hard work and being stubborn and saying that I'm not going to give up. That's what it was.
Well, that's the thing with me too. I was the same way. I was like, I'm going to the front. I'm going to change my career into cyber. And nobody's going to do it for me.
No.
Right. Nobody's ever done anything for me. And like, I've had to work for everything that I've earned and so forth over the years. And I was in the same boat. I didn't know referrals. I applied like crazy. I practiced interviews, right? Like, I did all of the things that we try to tell people to do. And I know you did too. And then they don't follow it and they wonder why they don't get a role. I'm like,
the 2021 job market is so different than what it is right now. And then people are trying to follow the job market as the people that got hired back in 2001. No, absolutely not. Like, this is a whole new, environment. There's, within 1 hour, there's like 100 people applying for the same job as you. Like, good luck getting an interview. And when you do get an interview, like, you need to prepare yourself. It's not like, they can tell, like, as a hiring manager, like, they can tell if you know what you're doing. If, like, the moment on, like, they know, like, can this person handle what our environment is gonna, like, be
what
like,
it's going to throw at them, right?
Yeah. And
so one of the things I'll throw out there too is those jobs, when they get posted like that and there's like 100 applicants within like an hour, a lot of those are the easy apply.
Exactly.
Like, if you look at the jobs that are not easy apply, there's nowhere near that.
No.
So take the time to apply for the positions that don't have the easy apply. Like,
go to the websites. The website. That's a huge. And LinkedIn used to be like a job search board. Nowadays, LinkedIn is like people selling their stuff and promoting their stuff. I compared it to, like, I was like, is this like a Facebook or Instagram? Like, what is going on with LinkedIn? Like, back in the day, it was like job searching board, and what happened to it? Now you have to use LinkedIn as you're selling your stuff to recruiters. You have to, make sure your LinkedIn is nice and organized. You have an about me section. And like, so that recruiters can find you without applying for any job. That's like, it's almost like you're using LinkedIn as, by doing nothing, recruiters finding you there. But like, people are not understanding that. Like, don't even waste your time on easy apply. That's just like waste of time.
So which boards did you use the most for applying, if you don't mind me asking?
I used Teal, but I did not pay for the subscription. What I did was I just did my research, and then I went to the company websites and applied there. And then same thing with LinkedIn. Instead of like going in and using their platforms to apply, I went to the company's website, did my research, and then instead of applying through LinkedIn, I applied through the company website. That's how I got most of my interviews.
That's a little bit different way. I mean, honestly, when you're looking at LinkedIn job posts, when that HR person or whoever's posting that job, they go back and they're like, holy cow, I've got 200 resumes. What am I going to do here? Like, once they get through 20 resumes, the other 180 are just not even probably even looked at.
Yeah, and also like I did use Dice. I did use Glassdoor, but what I did was I created a profile. So like I said, same thing with LinkedIn. The recruiters or hiring manager would find me there and then would contact me and then offer me a position. Within like first 1 or 2 weeks, I already had an offer. I actually had 3 offers that I rejected.
I was going to say you had like 2 or 3, didn't you?
Yeah. 2 were contracts, which I thought that if I do accept these jobs, I'm not going to be able to, like, what am I going to do after 3 months? Mm-hmm. And then the other one was, like I said, was a creative shift, and the salary was not like what I was looking for, so I declined. Like, if you're smart about like how does new job markets is working, like you have to do your research a little bit. I did my research. I was like, okay, how's this different from what I am used to back in 2024? So like, it was.
But again, you could do that because you mentioned earlier about getting your foot in the door. You could have easily gotten your foot in the door with those other 2, but you didn't have to do that because you had options. Mm-hmm. You had multiple companies that were vying for you. And again, just to reiterate, you didn't have an IT background. You didn't have a college degree in cybersecurity or information security. Like you didn't have that. But you still had companies literally clamoring over you. So, there's a lot of myths that people like to throw out there. And I'm sorry, I'm going to throw it out there because I really don't care. I think a lot of people throw excuses out there to justify why they don't get a job. There are jobs out there. And yes, it might be a little more difficult right now. But if you do the work, you put in the work, you put in the time, you can absolutely find the roles. Is it going to just plop in your lap? Probably not. But that's okay. If you want it enough, go get it. Like, stop finding excuses. It drives me mad. Like, crazy.
Job search is like another job for you. You have to wake up in the morning. I used to wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning, apply till 1, eat my lunch, and then afterwards, towards the nighttime, like go again and go through what I missed or whichever I didn't. I had a set schedule. Mondays, I wouldn't do anything because everybody's busy on Monday. Like, it's the day after weekend, people are busy. So Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday was where I like applied like crazy. And then Fridays was, I took a day off on Fridays because I obviously needed a mental, break day. And then that's when the recruiters would call me. So like, that was my set schedule. You have to like have everything organized and be persistent and like have a schedule in place. If you do the work and if you're stubborn about it, and if you're like, it's either I'm going to get a job in cybersecurity or I'm going to get a job in security, because that was how I was, because I was not going back to being a pharmacy operation manager. When I left that position, I was like, there's no turning back. This is it. Like, that's how I left that company. And I was like determined. Like, that's how you have to be. Like, if you're just like, okay, I'm gonna get up at 10 and just like apply here and there, let me tell you, good luck.
That sounds like the college student that sleeps till noon, wakes up and studies for the test that's at 2 o'clock. From noon until 12:30 until 1:30 when they have to leave because they got to eat lunch, and then they got to walk to the classroom, whatever. It's like, well, good job on getting that D minus on that exam, right?
People wonder why they're not getting a job. Like, it's every successful person in this world has a story. Like, you have to write your own story. You have to go enjoy your own journey. Like you said, nobody's going to hand you a job. Like, this is America. Like, you have to hustle for your job. You have to hustle for whatever you want in this world. Like, this is how it works.
Well, I kind of liken getting a job to a marathon. You're going to have some people that run the marathon in 4 hours. Yeah. I think is like a fast time in a marathon. Not a runner, full disclosure. I hate running. If I'm running, you should probably run too. But when you look at a marathon and you take the people who really prepare, who work hard at it, they run all the time, they fuel their bodies properly, they can run a marathon in a little over, I think, like 4 hours. All right. Now that is impressive. Not everybody is that. But if you go, I'm going to get to that 26.2 miles, you may have to have somebody drag you across. You may have to crawl across. But if you put your mind there that you're going to get there and you're going to do it, you'll get there eventually. It might not get done in 4 hours. It might be 24 hours, if you didn't prepare at all and you didn't eat right at all, but you'll get there. You just got to put in the time and you got to put in the work. And, let me ask you a question. All the work that you've done to get where you are, to be in cybersecurity, is it worth it? Was it worth it?
Absolutely. Looking back, I still have friends that I talk to. After we graduated, actually, from our cohort, we had this small group of 10 people who we constantly shared our knowledge. What I what we basically did is help each other out, like, just found their faults and this and that, and help emotionally, like, and from all of those 10 people, we all got hired because we didn't give up. And then we all like still communicate with each other, and like we're like, oh my god, like, a couple of years ago we were like miserable at our jobs, and like everything's getting so expensive, and we're just like, I was just not able to afford things that I wanted. Now it's just like wow, like I'm a cybersecurity analyst, like it's amazing.
Yeah, agree. And it's funny. I have a similar story. My entire team is working in cyber and have been. So it was the same thing. We still are in touch. I still get together and have lunch with some of my team that live remotely close to me. We've gotten together and had dinners, at different events and stuff, birthdays or whatever. So yeah, same scenario. I love when I hear stories like this, because there are some people that struggle getting into the field, and I get it. And some people have challenges that make it a little more difficult for them. And obviously I feel for them, and I try to help them out as best I can. But the ones that don't have those challenges, they make up excuses and they keep putting barriers in front of themselves one after. It's like, I'm sorry, at some point in time, I don't feel sorry for you anymore. And that's a hard way to be, but you kind of have to. Otherwise, it just rips your heart out of your chest every time. At least it does for me, because I know I truly care about everybody that goes through our program. I want everybody to get a job. I want them to get into cyber. And I want the companies to realize how good these people are and what they bring to the table as well, too. And, at the end of the day, the ones that actually show up and show out are the ones that get the jobs, and the ones that actually are worth the position. I hate to say it that way, but it is.
Yeah, you have to do the work. Like if I'm after graduating cybersecurity labs, I helped a lot of people with their resumes, fixing it up and all this. But I kind of like realized at some point I was doing all the work, but when I was telling them to do these things, they just didn't want to do it. And I'm just like, listen, I'm not going to find you a job. Like, good luck.
But you didn't charge by you could have just charged by the hour. It could have been another job.
If I did, I was probably in the 10K by now. So. But I'm totally free. Don't worry. I'm just asking for prayers.
Well, it is what it is. Yeah. Well, listen, this has been a blast. Esra, thank you so much. I appreciate you connecting with me. You and I have been meaning to get together for a long time. Thanks for finally putting a little spot on your calendar for me. I appreciate it. Well, listen, you have a fantastic weekend, and thank you again so much for spending some time with us. Thank you for giving us insight into your CyberNow Labs journey and the SOC experience, and even providing some guidance to people that are still looking for their roles and the things that they need to do, and the things that they need to take those steps and get there. And they can get there. They just need to get it done, right?
Absolutely. You have been amazing help. I just cannot the whole CNL family, you especially, all the terrible, interviews that I went through. Like, we made fun of it, but just that's what life is. You just make fun of it, laugh at it, and move on.
Every situation is a learning opportunity,
absolutely,
right?
Absolutely.
You can either let it beat you down, or you can let it make you better, right?
Right, exactly.
Well, I think you've done a good job of letting life make you better. So keep up the good work, Esra, and thank you again for spending some time with us.
Thanks.